What does it mean to you when you hear that Kodak might go out of business?
To me, it feels like we've heard this story before. I mean, Kodak has been around since the late 1800s, and Kodak is just the name of film. I mean, they're the ones who gave us 120. Right? Portrait 400 is still one of the most popular films. Everybody wants Portrait 400. I am Rob. I am one of the owners of Camera Exposure and Safelight Labs, and this is a developing story. The interesting thing about the article that I noticed was that they are moving into manufacturing raw materials for the pharmaceutical companies. And if you know anything about the pharmaceutical industry, there's a lot of money there. So I kind of think it's going to be one of those moves. They're going to probably end up on using some of the pharmaceutical stuff to help prop up the Kodak business because they're not gonna let it go out of business. And if the powers that be do let Kodak go out of business, somebody's gonna swoop in, some company, somewhere, some way, they're gonna, you know what, we can't let Kodak die. Too many people like Kodak. It's the biggest film manufacturer of color film in the world. They can't let it die. Kodak has always kind of just been like this big giant. Sometimes I do think that perhaps Kodak is too big. They're not sustainable the way that they currently are. And that's the way that it was years ago. Then they broke up the company and they sold off this section, they sold off this section. The chemistry portion is owned by somebody else. So it's not the Kodak Eastman company out of Rochester, New York. And what happened one day is all of a sudden we got notice that there's no more Kodak chemistry. Like you can't get Kodak D76, you can't get Fixer, you can't get HC110, no more Kodak chemistry. It's done. So we all kind of scrambled going, oh crap, where are we gonna get our chemistry from now? So we kind of, here in the lab, we switched over to a different brand for our black and white developer, and we had plenty of the color left. And probably within about a month or so, they were like, okay, production is back online. That's corporate. It's just everything kind of just turns over constantly, so it's not gonna go anywhere. It can't go away. When you hear the word Kodak, that's the only thing you think of is film.